Yeah. Yeah. I was sleeping next to Mary, and the youngest in the bed, and the room got warm the way it got warm twice before. And he was there again, and he didn't have to say my name this time. And he didn't have to tell me not to be afraid. He said, Joseph, Harold is dead. The men who wanted the boy are dead. You can go home. And I sat up in the dark, and I looked at the ceiling of the house I built in Egypt. And I looked at the workshop door across the courtyard. And I looked at Mary asleep, and I thought, home. And the word felt strange, cause we've been gone long enough that this was home too. And I woke her gently, and I told her, and she didn't say anything for a while. And then she said, are you sure? And I said it was him. And she said, then it's time. Coming home. After all of it, coming home. With everything we left without. Coming home. With the children we didn't have when we left. Coming home. With the man and woman we became. Coming home. And we sold the workshop to a man from the synagogue. And we packed the house slowly this time. And we said goodbye to the family that took us in. And we said goodbye to the friends the children had made. And the youngest didn't know why we were leaving. And she cried for 2 days before we left, cause Egypt was the only home she'd ever known. And I held her on my lap the morning we set out. And I told her there's another place waiting for you. And it is trees you never seen. And it has hills that go up forever. And it has a grandfather and a grandmother in a synagogue where I learned my prayers. And you're gonna love it there. And she said okay. And she fell asleep against my chest. And we took the road back the way we came, with 7 children this time instead of 1. And the donkey was older now. And we walked slower than we used to. And the country started looking familiar about a week before we got home. And I said to Mary, the country's talking to me again. And she said, yeah, it's talking to me too. Coming home. With everything we left without. Coming home. With the children we didn't have when we left. Coming home. With the man and woman we became. Coming and we came over the hill of Nazareth. And the village was sitting where it had always been. Smaller than I remembered, realer than I remembered. And my mother was at the gate, cause somebody had run ahead and told her we were coming. And she was older, and her hair was all white now. And her face was wet, and she didn't say anything, she just held me. And she just held Mary, and she just held the children, one at a time, and she just kept holding them. And my father came out of the house, and his hair was white too. And he didn't say anything either, he just nodded. And the children stood in a circle, not sure what to do. And then the boy went over to his grandfather, and he put his arms around him like he'd been doing this whole life. And my father started crying, for the first time I ever saw him cry. I went to the well the next morning. Same well, same stone, same path I'd walked since I was a girl. And I drew water like I used to. And I set the jar down the way I used to. And I looked up at the path, the same path I was on the morning the boy with cedar in his arms looked at me and looked away. And the path was empty now, but I could see him there, the way he was today. Younger, carrying cedar, looking at the ground and then looking at me. And the years we've been gone settled on me at the well. And I sat down on the well stones and I cried for a long time. And the cry wasn't sad, the cry was just we made it. We made it back, and the well held me the way it held me the first time. Coming home. After all of it, coming home. With everything we left without. Coming home. With the children we didn't have when we left. Coming home. With the man and woman we became. Coming home. Coming home.